What's going on, everybody? How you doing? All right, in today's video, this is a donation request. This is for Matt. Matt says, some requests, so we've got a few. This is not an album request. This is a few single songs we're going to do. Sleep Token. That's who we're checking out today, Sleep Token. The first song that we're checking out is the song Caramel. Okay, so Matt says, Sleep Token, not sure if you have heard any of their stuff. I actually don't think I have. I've heard of them. Right, they've been, I've seen their masks and all that kind of thing, or whatever's going on with them. I've heard of them, but I have not listened to them or jumped on the bandwagon or any of that kind of stuff. So this will all be new to me. They're kind of huge today because of their current album. Can't tell you what genre they are other than not country. They basically cover every genre, every other genre, it seems. They're an anonymous band and prefer to stay private. Much more good luck. Right, good luck today. Staying private, yeah, right. Okay, and you're a public figure, yeah, right. Meaning you're like on the internet, yeah, okay. And they're much more than on the internet, I'm sure, right? They do concerts and all that. Anyways, I'm just saying, it's like it's just not possible. We don't live in that day anymore, right? We just don't. Okay, much more protective than bands like Ghosts or Kiss and others who have worn masks. Slipknot, for me, it was Slipknot, when they came out. Yeah, it was like, oh, wow. Then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be in like a jumpsuit and a mask. Apparently, sometime within the last year or two, someone found out who they are and posted stuff all over the internet. So that, hello. Yeah, of course that was going to happen. So the first song I'm giving you deals with that and how it impacted them. They're mostly into storytelling around some lore, which I do not follow. Let others tell you about that. I just enjoy their music, but in doses. It's heavy on the brain, so I need breaks between listens. Okay, Caramel is the first song. Chose this because it kind of goes through several genres to give you an idea of what they sound like. Okay, yeah, because I don't know what they sound like at all. Okay, and also, because it's new to me, I'm going to be jumping into some of this. Okay, so they're in England. So they're from London. Okay. Didn't know that. Didn't know mostly anything about these guys. Formed in 2016. Members remain anonymous by wearing masks. Okay, an EP, and then they got signed. They released a cover of Hey Ya. Really? Okay. Publications exclusive premiere. Calcutta Metal Hammer writer Luke described this song as an odd and unique mix of technical metal and expansive indie soundscapes. Oh yeah, I want to see alternative metal, progressive metal, R&B, post metal, indie pop, and gent subgenre of progressive. I've heard of gent before, right? Yeah. Terms for an onomatopoeia of the guitar. All right, because it's like jin. Okay, yeah. Sources such as The Guardian Guitar World describe gent as a genre. Some notable musicians, Randy Blythe and Stephen Carpenter, say it is. Oh, now I want to see what it is, what they say. Okay, anyways, combination of elements from multiple genres. Across these three spellbinding tracks, the band fully delivers on their genre blending promise, moving between light indie atmospherics and dark Meshuggah-esque heaviness and covering most of the spectrum in between. This is another heavy band that I never jumped into and dug into. Meshuggah. I've heard a lot about them, but I never listened to them. One of the earliest performances of the band was okay. All right, I don't want to get too much into the albums. Okay, let's check this out though. Since their formation, the members of Sleep Token have sought to remain anonymous. Metal Hammer explains that the members, who all wear masks and cloaks, obscure their faces. They don't talk on stage, and they have only ever done one interview with Metal Hammer. They don't talk on stage. Wow. So they don't talk to the audience. I wonder how their live show looks. Like how it kind of moves along. If they don't talk to the audience, it must be very, or at least somewhat tight. And even any kind of breaks or whatever would probably be at least somewhat planned, you would think, or thought out. That's what it tells me. Anyways, who knows though? I've never seen him. Okay. Lead singer and primary songwriter of the band is known by the moniker Vessel. Vessel and Two are the only members of the band who have been credited as performers on Sleep Token's studio albums. Two is also the only member apart from Vessel who has been given songwriting credits. Yeah, these guys are obviously like a studio. I mean, they do concerts, but they were created in the studio. That's what it sounds like to me. It's not like they're like an underground band that's like playing local gigs. And I mean, have they ever played local gigs? That's what, you know what I'm trying to get at? Like that kind of thing. Sounds like they were created in the studio, and they're able to do this largely because of probably social media. I imagine they could just put it online and then get some traction. Because like, are they playing shows? Maybe I should have read that over here. It just says that they released first single followed by an EP, O2 Academy Islington, one of their earliest performances. What's the capacity of this place? 250 people. Main venue has a capacity of 800. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a big venue for somebody who that's their first or one of their first gigs. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like some band that's like hitting the pavement, you know, like in that type of way. And again, you don't have to, I'm not trying to be critical by saying that. I'm just presenting it as like, okay, this is what it tells me. It tells me they were made in the studio. They got some kind of traction just from their recordings and social media and stuff like that. Touring members, yeah, it's just those two guys, basically. It's those two guys, and then they have touring people. They hire people. Groups focus on anonymity and visual style have been likened to similar practices employed by Ghost, Slipknot, and Weir, though Vessel has rejected these comparisons, particularly to Ghost. That's interesting. You're literally doing that. Slipknot's frontman Corey Taylor has praised the band's image and artistry, comparing their approach to the one Slipknot took in the band's early days. Yeah, I mean, I remember when Slipknot's first album came out. I got that thing. I love that album. That first album, yeah, it was great. 2017, Sleep Token's then new label Basic Records published a description of the band, which read, a band that goes above and beyond simply writing and playing music. Sleep Token are said to be the mortal representatives of the ancient deity known only as Sleep, led by the masked and cloaked figure appointed Vessel, the master creator behind the music. Since the band's formation, only 2 interviews have ever been granted. The first with Metal Hammer at the time of their signing with Basic. Frontman Vessel expanded on the lore of the band, stating that we are here to serve Sleep and project his message. I mean, yeah, this is kind of no different than like, movie or, like these kind of things. This is entertainment. It's entertainment. When asked about Sleep, he stated that he is everywhere at all times. Vessel encountered Sleep in a dream. This is like some God thing or something, or Jesus Christ or whatever, with promise of glory and magnificence if Vessel followed him. I mean, this is literally religion, right? The second, a video interview and playthrough with drummer Two. Oh, Two is the drummer. With YouTube channel Drumeo, talking about his earliest influences of new metal drummers, Joey Jordison, right? Matthew McDonough, Mudvayne, sorry, McDonough, or however you say your name, Mudvayne. I never got into Mudvayne. To incorporating elements of the United Kingdom's electronic music and hip hop scenes to his playing style with Sleep Token, which he considers to blend of gospel music with that of Deftones drummer Abe Cunningham. I'm a huge Deftones fan, like huge, love Deftones. Abe Cunningham is incredible. This is like a dream gig, Deftones, they're just awesome. I've seen them a couple times. They're great. Easily one of my favorite bands. Easily. Musically, Sleep Token has been categorized in a wide range of genres, including alt metal, post-rock metal, prog metal, indie, rock, pop, and gent. Revolver noted elements of trap and jazz. The band fuses heavy metal, electronica, hip-hop, and modern-day gent progressive metal. Suggests that the band has a fluid approach to genre, claiming that they incorporate elements of everything from tech, metal, and alternative to pop and R&B. All music is written that Sleep Token combine post-rock, post-classical, and post-metal tropes with soulful indie pop vocals into a blend that sounds like nothing else. The band's label, Spinefarm, has simply stated that in a world of form and genre, Sleep Token cannot be defined. Band have been vague about their influences, simply crediting a plethora of artists as inspiration. Early in their career, though, they did name Leprous, Agent Fresco, Bon Iver, and Meshuggah as influences. Okay, so I've only heard of Bon Iver and Meshuggah, but I don't know their music. So I know none of those people's music at all. Leprous, Norwegian prog metal band. Agent Fresco, Icelandic band. Pop alternative art and math rock. Okay. Commenters have also posited performers such as Deftones, Cult of Luna, Swedish post-metal band, Explosions in the Sky, post-rock from Austin, and Olafur Arnalds as possible influence, multi-instrumentalist and producer, stringed and piano and loop beats, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And they've got 4 albums. Okay, cool. And the one that we're doing is Caramel first, which this is from a month ago. So this is off of their newest album. Yeah, look at that. Wow, okay. Off of their newest album, April 4th, 2025. So recently, officially released their second single from the album, Caramel, on all streaming platforms. The song became the band's highest charting single across multiple countries around the globe, making it their most successful release to date. Wow, so these guys are hot right now. For the first time, Vessel is not singing from a place associated with the lore and story they have built up over the years, but from the very personal perspective of the man behind the mask. Well, yeah, you assume if they were going to continue on with a career, they were going to have to do more than whatever they were doing before, right? That's just normal music artistry, right? Stress brought to the band members' personal lives as they struggle to remain anonymous as they gain notoriety is highlighted. Vessel does acknowledge in his song that in hindsight, this should have been an expected outcome, and that even with the drawbacks of fame, they still love making and performing their art. Teased the song via North Carolina weatherman Chris Michaels, who is known for referencing metal lyrics in his weather reports. Oh, that's actually funny. Michaels posted a video on social media announcing a release from Sleep Token. Okay, that's cool. Instrumental begins as soft, soothing, and stripped down for the first 2 minutes. Song gradually incorporates poppy sounds as it adds more layers of instruments and uses pop-influenced chorus. Pop-like sections are also paired with reggaeton beat. A breakdown in the style of metal occurs 3.5 minutes into the song. Lyrics find Vessel exploring his struggle with fame, including achieving it from music made from his own sadness and dealing with fans attempting to uncover Sleep Token's real identities. But yeah, people are going to want to know, and they're going to find you. I mean, that's just, with the internet today, they're going to. All right, let's get into this. Sleep Token, Caramel. Let's do it. Bam.
Like sirens, pay back for the good times. Right foot in the roses, left foot on a landmine. I'm not gonna be there, tripping on the grapevine. They can sing the words while I cry into the baseline. Wear me out like Prada, devil in my detail. I swear it's getting harder, even just to exhale.
Not at all what I expected. Even after reading what it was going to sound like, it's still not what I expected. There's this vibrato on his voice, which I'm wondering how real it is. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Like that. Gospel chops. This is like Gospel Chops Light, but yeah. Yeah, Gospel Chops, yeah. Gospel Chops started getting big like when I was at college with like Thomas Bridgen and those type cats, you know. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. It's cool. It's a cool vibe. It's thick, right? It's very produced, right? It's very studio. But like I said, they're obviously made in the studio. They're not like a touring band in that kind of way. They're not like Rush, right? I saw that you mentioned Rush in your email. In that way, they're totally not. You hear that vibrato? I'm like, is that real? What is that? I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't. And in that way, I almost feel like it sounds like Post Malone. You know, it's got like a bit of a Post Malone type of thing about it, actually. I like it. I do like it. I see a little bit of a comparison to Deftones. I can get that. I can get some of that for sure. But I mean, there's kind of a lot here as I've read so much, right? There's kind of a lot here. I like it though. I like it though. Sorry, anybody that's new here. I didn't catch a lick of lyrics. I just don't. That's not my forte. Don't come to me for lyrics. You will be very disappointed. Okay, for everybody else who's been here before, right, and knows that, yeah, the music is cool. I like it. I like it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get the whole pop sensibility. I like that. I think that it's great because it makes it more accessible to more people, and enough of what's going on is already kind of out, you know, or jarring or dissonant, right? Yeah, I like it. Definitely not what I expected. Even though I literally just before listening to it read what it was going to be. That like didn't matter. Didn't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter until you hear it and then you're like, "Oh. Wow. Like, yeah, I know it said pop, but I know it said it was going to get heavy, but it like just reading it is not enough to really prepare you." Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, gospel chops, all that stuff. It mentioned gospel chops, right? I didn't just like make that up. Blend of gospel music. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Like, when did gospel chops start? Oh, yeah, by now it's like heavily dissected. But like, when did it start? When did gospel chops start? 2004. Yeah, right. When I was in college. Yeah, it was huge. It was just a big thing. And they had a bunch of people like, yeah, like Thomas Pridgeon. Yeah, Tony Royster Jr. got huge off it also, right? Keisha Cole, yeah, I remember all that. When she first came out and she got Thomas, that lasted 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I was at Berkeley when Thomas was at Berkeley, so I remember all of that. And I remember when he got the Mars Volta gig, and I went to go and see him at a House of Blues over there. House of Blues was new in Boston at the time. It was pretty new. Anyways, I was just curious when it started, because I'm like that. Because how I remember it was that stuff got huge when I was at college, and 2004, that was like my last year of college. That stuff was crazy. When I first went to college, that was like D'Angelo Voodoo was like everybody was just like, that like changed the game right there. Anyways, yeah, I really like the music. I am now, this is their newest release. I'm really interested to hear like their first releases. Like, what did their first recording sound like? Because was it as like, this is obviously they got money behind them. They can, they can make it sound like however they want, right? How did they sound before they had any of that? When it was still raw, or did it never sound raw? Maybe they just always had, it was just always in the box. Anyways, I really like it. I'm definitely interested to hear what's next. What's next is The Summoning. All right, The Summoning up next. I'll catch you then later.